stopped it. Where's the puck? It came loose on the other side. It's over.
From 4137 Productions, this is Brothers on Ice. My name is Chris. I'm here with my brother Carter.
Hello.
And before we get going today, I need to kind of pat myself on the back a little bit.
Well, of course you do. You take any opportunity to do
So,
that.
well, you know what? I think this is justified. I don't, I feel like I don't reach that often when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Really?
I mean, I'm not biased or anything, but on March 27th of this year, I tweeted out on the Brothers on Ice Twitter account, by the way, Dach is practicing on power play 1 on a game day. I think I wanted to say Colin says that Lankinen will start tonight, but he also won't divulge the rest of the lineup. Might be wishful thinking on my part, but I say Dach plays tonight or tomorrow. Now, by the time you guys are listening to this, this was about a week ago where the Hawks had a back-to-back versus Nashville. We now know that Dach did play that night, and he looked great.
Congratulations.
He looked great. Hey, you know what? I feel like kind of like a detective.
Yeah?
You know? Yeah.
That's a little much,
Yeah.
don't you
I mean,
think?
I was at work too. So I was kind of like putting these pieces together while I'm doing other things. And I was like, man.
You like sell cars, so you have a lot of downtime. So you're able to just peruse Twitter while we do these
I
things.
feel like I'm getting exposed right now.
I mean,
I had a
I'm
good
just
tweet,
saying.
okay? I had a good tweet.
No, I'm giving you
Let
credit.
me
I am.
That's a long-winded way to give me credit.
No, to be fair, when we were talking about like Dach's trajectory coming back from injury, you called it even before then. You were like, I say he comes back on a random night when we don't expect it. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like Carlton's keeping it pretty close to the chest. He's probably being honest here, but it seemed like watching Dach skate in practices leading up to him coming back that he was 100% a while ago. They just wanted him to be like for sure ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
That they took their time with him more. But yeah, he did look great coming back, and he's looked great for the last few games that they've played so far with him in the lineup.
Yeah. Since he's been back, he's picked up a couple of assists. He still has yet to find a goal, but that first Nashville game, he was by far and away the Hawks' best player.
Was that was the first game, right, where he just destroyed Ben Harper?
Yes.
And got to the net and almost scored?
Yes. Well, and that's what we've been seeing, and I think even going back to last year, we've seen this elite skill set in flashes from Dach, right?
Yeah.
We go back, the one that sticks out in my mind is last year. I forgot who they were playing, but the Hawks were wearing their third jerseys at the time, the black ones with the white stripes.
I think they were
Beautiful
playing
jerseys, by the way.
Anaheim.
Were they? This sounds about right. And there's a loose puck along the boards in the neutral zone, and all in one motion, Dach is skating. He pokes it away from an Anaheim player, and then goes to regather the puck and does a 360-degree spinorama around another guy to avoid getting hit. And then he collects the puck and then proceeds to get a shot off. He didn't score, much like this chance that he had, in his first game back against Nashville. But that elite skill set is there. And I guess it's just something that I haven't really considered maybe as much as I should have. I think like we've all been really impressed with Dach since he's come into the league. But to call him like, I guess like the better way I can kind of explain this is like there are certain players in the league that have game breaking ability, right? Like Patrick Kane is one. Every time the puck is on his stick, he can make something out of nothing. And that's what separates the elite from the good, right? And I think Dach has the ability to be like a Patrick Kane or a Nathan McKinnon, where like when the puck is on his stick, he can break the game and make something out of nothing. We haven't seen it quite yet, at least not consistently, and we haven't seen him finish, but I think the skill set is there. I'd love to know what you would think.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily disagree. This is, for me, a little bit reminiscent of like Marty Necas in Carolina. His rookie year last year, he was sort of doing some of the same things. And even before that with the Charlotte Checkers when they won the Calder Cup the year before, he was a big part of that championship. And he would sort of do some of the similar things where he would make these plays where it's like, wow, you can tell that he has something a little bit extra that most players don't have. And Necas is really putting it together this year. I think he has like 28 points in 32 games, something like that.
Really?
Yeah, he's really killing it right now. Playing in a good system, obviously, but yeah, I see very similar things out of Doc. Now they're two different style players.
Mm-hmm.
Doc is a little bit more, north south. Nate just likes to dipsy doodle around a little bit. Part of that is Nate just is a much smaller player than Doc is. Doc is enormous, but yeah, I wouldn't necessarily disagree. I'm a little hesitant to be like, yeah, he's going to be like that because we haven't really seen it yet. But to be fair, we've only seen his rookie year and then a handful of games in his second year.
Mm-hmm.
There's still so much time for him to really put this together and gel into a special player. And I think the chances of him doing that are better than they are him not doing that. I will say that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would agree with it too. And it's funny because it's like, I just remember looking back at that draft and when they took him, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And I don't think anybody did. We think, most people thought that it was going to be Byram, to get that franchise guy on your blue line, or if they were going to take it forward, it was going to be Turcotte.
Yeah.
And it was a guy that was really slotted at, like
7?
bottom 10.
Yeah.
But it's worked out. And I think, like, when you look back at that draft, obviously there's a lot of guys that haven't played yet, but like he's been better than Kako, who was taken above him.
Yeah. And I mean, there's an argument to be made that he's the best player of that draft right now. Like,
It's an extremely bold claim right now.
I think him and Jack Hughes are pretty close. I might give the edge to Hughes if I was a betting man, which I am sometimes. We can talk about the almost betting situation in a bit. But if I was a betting man, I'd probably go Hughes. But I think it's really close. And especially when you're considering like, well, they could have taken Byram, and Byram looks really good in Colorado so far. But they don't need a defenseman right now. It's already a logjam at defense.
Which we didn't think was going to be the case.
No.
Because this is coming off of trading Yogi Haru.
Correct. But Bowman knew what he was doing there, apparently. And Turcotte is okay right now in the LA system. I think he's playing with the Ontario Reign. And last time I checked, he played like 5 or 6 games and had like 1 point.
Yeah, I just checked his stats the other day. He's played, I think, 20-something games. And I don't remember exactly what he was. I think he's like, I don't know, somewhere in the range of like 0.5 to 0.6 points a game, which isn't bad.
In the AHL, it's pretty mediocre for a top 5 pick in his second year.
If you remove the fact that he was a top 5 pick, it's pretty decent.
Sure.
But being that he is a top 5 pick, it kind of changes things. You'd kind of like to see him light it up a little bit more.
And he seemed like the lock if they were going to go forward because he's an Illinois native. He's a center. I mean, Doc is too. And he was more of like a skill, flashy forward that they were thinking about looking for. But Bowman went with the NHL ready power forward. And damn, like he's honestly one of my favorite players right now. He's so fun to watch. He doesn't look out of place when you put him next to guys like DeBrincat and Kane.
Yeah,
like he has a very similar skill set as far as its quality.
Yep.
He's a different player than those guys, but as just from a quality standpoint for his skill set, it's right up there with some of the NHL's best players already, which is super encouraging. Is he going to have as long of a career in that prime as maybe some smaller players or some less physical players will? Maybe not. But we're not worried about that right now. He's going to make an impact now. He already is. Every time I watch him on the ice right now in this second season, I feel like he's just way more polished than he was last year.
Yeah.
You can notice a difference. You already noticed that difference when he was playing at the World Juniors. When he was playing at the World Juniors, he looked like he didn't belong, but like in a good way.
Yeah.
Like he was just so far and above even his own teammates on Team Canada. It's just a bummer that he had to miss the first 30 games of the season or whatever, that injury. And that was sort of our worry, was getting injured like the World Juniors. But I don't think you take that back. I think you know, looking for that experience was a good thing. But yeah, he's just super exciting. And he's coming back at a great time. And this team is making a playoff push.
Mm-hmm.